Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of Wisdom Cafe Live. Meet the author, episode number 29. My name is Dr. Bob Choat. I'm known as the Transformational Grandmaster. Got to get that out. And my beautiful co host is Dr. Sofie Nubani, the queen of laughter and wisdom, and so much more, including, I would say, the queen of creativity and so forth. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Southern California, and I would say the same in Florida, in the Orlando area. Correct? So
Yes, yes.
yeah, and it's just so amazing as we transition and all the challenges we've all been going through, and as we're moving into wintertime, health is now becoming even a bigger concern,
Mhm.
and so much more. So Sophie, how are you doing health wise nowadays?
Excellent. I'm doing great. I'm so blessed and grateful for all that is. So we
Hmm.
can be of good service to those who need us around the globe.
Absolutely. I know that uh, that health and some of the things that you've been into and we had discussed and since we met has been in the area of aromatherapy besides mindset and so forth, which has been
I
pretty
mean, are you
amazing.
kidding? And I'm so thrilled and excited to having our amazing special guest who's an expert and such a strategist, expert, you name it, in this field. So we get to introduce her to everyone in more depth and connection and insights that will really assist, especially going through a world pandemic that we're facing, and that she has dedicated her time even more since the pandemic. I've seen a lot more action, a lot more interaction, a lot more classes, a lot of more, oh my God, presence. And I can tell you, those light workers of the world really show up in Call of Duty and showing up when they really need to even more, and dedicating the time and allowing others to be lifted up. And I think it is so magical and so beautiful. So, I mean, Lorrie, we are so thrilled, excited to have you here with us today.
Yeah,
And yes,
yeah. So a little bit about her. She's
yes, a little
actually
bit, because we can't say too much.
so
We'll take a whole show.
there's quite a bit. I've gone through a lot of the bio and everything, and did some research, and she's an internationally known uh, registered aromatherapist, and she's in just been in the area of natural health for over 3 decades, which is
Wow.
pretty amazing. She's influenced a lot of people, including through her various business ventures in natural health and aromatherapy, where she's started many companies and created a lot of products that's been able to help people all over the world. She even had a company here in California that I, I don't know if that's where she hails from or originally.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm originally from California.
Okay. Great. Fantastic. So we have that.
Cleared out.
Yeah, put it
She's
out.
all over the place, and she's rooted in few places that are very, strong. So we were like making sure.
So not only has she started her business here in California, she also went to France and lives in the south of France, where she started even another business venture that helps many people. And she continues this through not only her products and her teachings, and even just giving of herself, where she gets out there and speaks, and in terms of helping people really understand what natural health is all about, and in
Mm.
particular aromatherapy, and how the therapeutic aspects of it can help people uh, really deal with it, especially with what we're going through now. So uh, I want to welcome you. And I know we're going to be talking about your book, and we'll get more into that. But I want to welcome you, Lorrie, and finally I get to meet you. And I
Yes.
know that Sophie has. So yeah, so I'm really happy to have you here, and and both you and Sophie, before we started, was doing a little bit of talking in French and so forth. So
I was practicing a little bit.
That was fun.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate you and Sophie for allowing me to be on your show. It's great. And to reach out to more people about
Yes.
aromatherapy and natural health and how those things can help them through what we're all going through right now. And in fact, right now in France, tomorrow night, we're going to be locked down again. So
Mm,
it's
mm,
going to even be more challenging here because of the mental health and emotional health issues that it brings out.
mm,
And that's why our little essential oils are so great, right?
yes.
To help
Yes.
people with that, because they just go right to our psyche and into our nervous system and our immune system. We call it PNI, psycho neuro immune system. So in aromatherapy, we know that we can use oils to just sniff and help us with our mental and emotional issues, such as depression and anxiety and panic attacks, PTSD, because people, they're being triggered. Maybe in
Yes.
their normal life things are okay, but then when a new challenge comes like this, and we've never had this before, right? Since what, the Spanish flu?
Yes.
yep.
Yeah. And so people, we don't know what this is. I mean, I haven't seen it in my lifetime. Have you guys?
No.
No,
It's
No.
like a movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm nearly towards the like in near my seventh decade of life, and I've never seen anything like this. And just
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been interesting
Hmm.
to say the least. I mean, I think as far as health, no, I think I remember the Cuban Missile Crisis and dealing with that back in
Hmm.
'62, and JFK after that. But and everything that we've been through since then, 9/11, but we've never had anything like this that's affected the world the way it's
Hmm.
affected the world.
Mhm.
And it's like it's a continuing journey. And on top of that, because you mentioned the 1918 flu pandemic, well, back then they didn't have uh, the internet where we spread
No.
everything as well, and also people traveling as fast as they have. So the spread of it and the continuation of it. So it's unlike anything we've ever had to deal with. I would say in the history of the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is the
Yes.
largest pandemic we've ever faced, for sure.
Yeah, it sure is. And so these situations come up that we don't know how to deal with. And if we have any kind of issues, depression or anxiety and things, those things get triggered. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
so that's what's so great about essential oils, because they work directly on the limbic system, where you have your memories, your positive and negative thoughts are located. And so you can have a very quick result by just sniffing the ones that, say, for example, you're anxious and you want to calm yourself down because you want to be clear minded so that you can make a good decision in your situation, however it is. And, by using just a short sniff of lavender and doing
Okay.
some deep breathing,
Yes.
you really send those endorphins off and get those serotonins going. And so it uplifts you. And then it also can help clear your mind. So I think that this is a great thing and a wonderful way to use uh, a natural health product, a modality that's easy. Plus, what
Mm.
modality that you have, I mean, you can take a lot. I take lots of herbs and vitamins, of course, to keep my immune system strong. However, I can take something that smells beautiful, right? And have a great reaction to it.
Mhm.
I can
Talking
feel
about
good.
lavender, my goodness, Lori, I have to share this. Like I mentioned, uh, I was visiting my son, and coming back on the road, my cat comes with me because I stay for a few days. And usually he starts crying because he gets attached to them, and his fiance, everybody loves him,
Oh,
spoils him, and he starts meowing in the car. The minute I put lavender, I mean, it's like magic. He starts coming down to a degree that I'm thinking, like, is he around? Where is he? Because it's like a 20 to 30-minute drive. And I'm like, Valentino, and I have to make sure he's okay. He gets drunk on lavender, literally. So
Well,
I'm telling you, it does work.
yes, and that's how I got started. Was we went to a health food store in the late '80s,
Oh, I was
and
going to ask you that, your story. Like, how did that really start, your
yeah,
connection with essential oils?
yeah, because what happened was I was already a certified iridologist, and I was people were coming to me for programs for herbs, vitamins, things like that. And I had a woman in the middle of the night call me, and she was anxious, she couldn't sleep, and I said, "Oh, it'll be okay. Take your B vitamins. It'll be all right." And she said, "Lorrie, there's more to this than just taking vitamins." And it stuck in my mind. I was like, she's totally right. I have to find something that will also work very quickly and energetically on people, so that way they can have a better result and feel better quicker. Because, telling her to take her B vitamins, yeah, that was nice, but you have to absorb it. It takes time, and that's maybe not really addressing the issue. That's a physical situation, you know?
Absorb it. You're so right.
Yeah, it takes time to absorb something. How many B vitamins can you take? I mean, it's great to take B vitamins. I take B12 every day to help me. However, I know that I can sniff lavender, or I can sniff ylang ylang and or clary sage, and boom, I'm out. If I have a problem to sleep. So what happened was we went to a health food store. My son was at that time around 8 years old, my oldest child. And then my oldest daughter was 6 years old. So we went to the health food store, and we saw a book on aromatherapy. So I looked at it and said, oh, it said lavender is calming and soothing. Clary sage is good for menstrual cramps and headaches. And geranium is balancing. So I bought those 3 essential oils. And my son
Mm-hmm.
had stuttered since the age of 4 years of age.
Mm.
And it wasn't on it was on certain words. Before he'd start his sentences, he'd say, you see, you see, you see, you see, you see, you see. And this would continue for minutes. And I took him to a speech pathologist when he was 4 to find out, maybe what triggered this, why he was like this, what was happening. And then the speech pathologist at the hospital told me, Lorrie, when he goes to school, when he's 5, he said, I think he's going to get stuck between the cracks, because it's not like on, SH or CH or certain sounds. It's on these words. So, of course, he did get stuck in the cracks. He didn't get in speech pathology at the school, even though I tried and tried and tried and tried. Oh, he's not bad enough. But he was he was so embarrassed. And so it's difficult for a child like that. And adults would always say to him, oh, just spit it out. Um, Adults are the worst, just spit it out, kid. Come on, hurry up and say what you got to say. So
I
we,
did that, by the
family,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, me. I've been a
Oh,
lifelong stutterer.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And look what you do now. And you're so great the way you communicate.
I know.
That's fantastic. So it said in the book, put 10 drops in the bath, to relax everybody. So I started putting 10 drops of lavender in the bathtub for everybody at night. And after 1 month, my son stopped stuttering.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, that's what I said.
Wow,
Wow.
that's amazing.
If this can do this for my son, what can it do for my clients? And how can I help them if I add essential oils into their programs? So that's what we started doing, and started using them more and more. And I started studying them, because I'm a kind of person is, once I find something, I'm going to study it. I'm going to get certified at it, and I'm going to do my best at it, So that's what happened. That began this complete
You
journey
study
for
it
me.
to teach it, then you really understand it.
Yes, exactly, Sofie. You hit it on the head there. So that's just what happened is I was an iridologist. I was doing herbs and all these other things. But when I would go to teach a class, people would show up for an aromatherapy class. They wouldn't necessarily show up for an herb class, but they would show up for an aromatherapy class. So it started developing like that. And after a while, I had made my own line of products, had a small company, made my own line of products. And then I had a Fortune 500 company come to me that was herb vitamin company. And they said, Lorrie, we would like to have aromatherapy. And that was in 1998. So I developed all their line of products, their educational materials. And because of that, I was able to come to France.
We were wondering the story behind going to France and living on a farm where you distill the oils. I mean, isn't it so amazing to be around lavender and walk around all these beautiful things that you have to connect with nature as you are also producing and doing all that?
It's amazing, Sofie. It's like today I went for a walk and I was able to take pictures of black pine, and we have an olive orchard above our house, and they're going to start milling the olives for the olive oil. And, I can go down to the oregano field and take pictures, and rosemary, and I can hang out with the plants, just to revive myself.
We should have you organize a retreat to the farm.
Well, you know what we used to do? I did before I had my youngest daughter. I was having retreats. I was bringing Americans to Domaine de Castellou for aroma retreat, is what we called it.
Yes.
And it was wonderful because I would bring in the French masters, for blending, for making all different kinds of things with essential oils, and it was so fun. And so that's how I met my husband. Was my second husband. Is I came to Domaine de Castellou, and he had an essential oil business there. I didn't know that. I came to take a course, an advanced chemistry class of essential oils there, and also to find an organic producer of essential oils. And so I went down inside their little laboratory, and they said, my professor said to me, Lorrie, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I'm here, of course, to take your class. And I'm here to find a supplier. He goes, oh, we have beautiful oils. So I went down there, looked at their laboratory. I smelt them. I said, oh, these are beautiful. I'll take them back to the company. And when we do our organoleptic testing, we'll see if we pick those oils, right? Well, in the meantime, he introduces me to his business partner. And a couple nights later, we all go dancing because it was the summer solstice, right?
Nice.
And here, that's when the music festivals start. And I love to dance.
When the music plays.
That's right. The French guy was right out there ready to dance with me. And that was it.
Look at this fun experience. I mean, this is a very beautiful story with all the nice feel good to it, all the hormones and chemicals, from aromatherapy fields to music and dance to education and learning to producing to achieving. I mean, look at everything that came around it. That's wonderful.
I was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. But I knew in my heart, as soon as I danced with this guy is meant for me. That's the way it is,
Oh, that's wonderful. What oil were you sniffing for concentration and intuition?
Well, it's interesting. I had a phenomenal meditation teacher, and so we were doing visualizations and working on our theta programming, right? And so I was visualizing going to France. However, I didn't visualize the love story part of it. I was visualizing the aromatherapy part of it.
Yes.
But I really was fortunate. And I can say that the night that I connected with my husband, I was wearing jasmine.
I love jasmine. It's such a powerful oil. My goodness. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And the attraction. I mean, there's this animalistic aspect to it, and then also the flower aspect to it. But that's why it's an aphrodisiac. And oh,
Did
of
you
course,
hear this, guys? Listen to this. Jasmine has it.
it does. It really does. You've got to connect to jasmine. It's beautiful, and it really does work. And what we had been to a perfume place, a factory, a perfumer, where a perfumer was. And of course, in France, they teach you to put it, on your pulse point, behind your
Yes.
ears here. Also to put it on your clothes, so that way when you walk past someone, if you want to attract them, then that whiff comes past them as you pass them. And then also we put it in between our breasts because of the heat. And then that amplifies the smell of the perfume or the essential oil. So it was the whole thing about attraction, right?
He felt he's smelling a jasmine through your physical body, and your talk. He's like, what is this lady made of? I want to sniff some more.
Well, we're so connected with scent, my husband and I, and all of our colleagues. And we didn't realize this until we sat down one night at a dinner, and we were all just talking about, the smell and the taste of this food and this aspect and that aspect of it. And, this is spicier here, but it has a green aspect. And then we realized, we have this special language that we're using, and that it's fun though to teach other people that language, to really get them involved in that, and to understand about smell and taste. And it just opens up a whole nother world for you, right?
It's the strongest sense to our brain, the sense of smell.
Yes. And this is why it's so great for when we are feeling bad. It can lift us up very quickly, just like I said, the lavender can calm you down, but yet you could use geranium or bergamot or any of your beautiful citruses, because they're going to uplift
I love
you.
geranium so much.
I do too.
I can't be without it. It's one of my always base products, with some others. I think I can't be without few of them.
You sound like me,
Anything you have, I got an oil for that.
Exactly, Sofie. And people say, well, what's your favorite essential oil, Lorrie? And I'm like, gosh, it's hard.
Hold on, here's the list.
Yes. Well, what do you suggest I get? Oh, geez. What do you want to work on first?
Yes.
Let's dial you down and find out really what you want to work on, and we'll start that way, because otherwise it's just a huge array of aroma, huh? It's beautiful.
Yes.
So we got a lot of your story regarding you making that transition to France, and the foundation was your business, but also the love story. Now we know that, and something we wasn't expecting, which is really
that was fun.
and learning about the power of jasmine. So I'm going to tell the guys out there, just if you haven't smelt jasmine, it is amazing. I would suggest you smelling it, just in case some girl may be flirting with you and seducing you with that anchor of jasmine. So just be aware of that.
All the superpowers going there increase, and you don't understand what the heck is
You
going
don't even know
on.
what's going on. It's like grabbing you.
Let me hold my breath, people. I don't know what's going on for me.
Yes. And Sofie, you're totally right. Our sense of smell, we smell our mate before we see them, because of the pheromones, and because their scent is what attracts them to us. So, it's the same with animals. It's the same way with bees. They're attracted to certain flowers because of the smell or the color, right? Yes. And certain insects, the same thing. So you're right, Bob. They better beware with those girls with that jasmine on.
I tell you, it's so beautiful when we understand the benefit, the why or because of something that we're doing. It gives it more meaning. But then when it's scientifically also, it has an evidence. This is not just, recommendations. I mean, I remember studying, because I'm always studying of something for another certificate or something. I'm always into that mode. But when I was going through, major, like longer studies and so forth, I really, really, even during my book writing, I also had rosemary and sage a lot going, because I wanted my memory recall to be stronger and I wanted to have more focus. I would add peppermint for my concentration. And it just an instant boost. Like, I put this peppermint and I'm telling you, I'm ready to go. It's like having coffee for some people, but it really, really does really work amazing. So I'm really in with that experience, because personal experience is the biggest teacher. And it really does work. And I'm telling you guys, you got a master pro for decades teaching this, who also can teach also how to mix them, how to use them, and also gets you certified if this is an area of interest to your growth journey. In addition to the modalities that you're doing through, whether it's a coaching business, mentoring, or I think even anyone, companies everywhere, schools, to add that into the classroom, to add this into the workplace. In moderation. We understand some people could be sensitive or have allergies,
Right.
but there's something for that too, right? So it balances it off. But the idea is, it's a very good tool to incorporate into your daily diet and enhance and amplify your emotions in positive ways, and decreasing any of the anxieties and stress, something that we really are dealing with around us globally right now. A lot of fear-based energies. I remember, Lorrie, you mentioned few oils in one of your lives, and even one powerful thing that I think a lot of people can benefit from, because you know how sometimes with Facebook notifications, not everybody gets to see all the everything going on at the time. But you had mentioned a very, very helpful tool, especially for a serious problem we're facing right now. A lot of people are losing their sense of taste and smell. And you had recommended, I don't want to give it away, so I'm going to have you explain that, because this is something that someone right away can use, or can help someone who has lost their sense of taste or smell. So can you please just, give us a little bit on that, because I think it's very
Sure,
helpful.
of course. Well, rosemary is the essential oil that you use to help go to the five senses part of your brain. And the reason it works is because it has a chemical constituent in it called 1.8 phenol. And that is what goes to your brain. And then what it does is it acts on that. It acts on your sense of taste, your sense of smell, and then also your hearing. That's why when you were using it for your studying, it works so well. They also
Yes.
have done studies where they've used rosemary to help people recall things with their memory, like you're saying, for studying. And so what happened was, I had a person send me a Facebook message asking me a question. And she says, Lorrie, my friend has lost her sense of taste, but not her smell, which is weird, right? Because usually if you can't smell, you can't taste. But she lost her sense of taste. And she said, so I said, well, why don't you just have her sniff rosemary essential oil, see how she does with that? I asked if she was on any kind of medication, first. And I checked the medication out to see if there was any CYP 450s, if it would have any counteraction between her medication. And it was no. And so she started sniffing it. And within a week, she had her sense of taste started coming back. She started tasting things more sweet at first. It was more of a sweet taste in her mouth. And then a week later, she had her taste was recovered and it was okay. So a lot of people with COVID, like you said, they lose their sense of taste and smell. So this is something very easy to do. Just open up their bottle, take a short sniff, and I also asked her to do it right before she ate.
Okay.
And And then also to really be more mindful when she was eating, eat slower and be more mindful, do some mindful eating, take more time, chew her food 30 times, really try to relish the food, be grateful for the food, right, after she had smelt the rosemary, to kind of imprint that too with
Mm-hmm.
her. And she said
Beautiful.
she did it and never, and, you know, recovered her taste. So it's
I know
really
every
great.
case is different in time, but do you remember like how much time did it take her to get it back? Was it like few days or
two
what was
weeks.
it?
It was
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Got it.
It was
Okay,
2 weeks. That's good.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
very good. I mean, I have a friend and I actually shared your live with him
Oh,
because
thank
his
you.
wife actually lost the sense of smell and since she had COVID, and that was from July, that she
Wow.
had it. So it's they say it could take up to 6 months or something. So I was so happy, and that's why I shared it on my page too, on my personal page, because I hope that if 5,000 people can maybe get some benefit, and we can make everyone feel better, the
Mm-hmm.
psychology, the morale worldwide is uplifted. People can think better. Leaders can do better decisions. It's sometimes instead of having to make a fast decision because this person's dying, that person's dying, how about if people are recovering and making decisions, going to make them make better decisions too, instead of having to just go like life or death all the time. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am so like really admiring all these tools that are available from mental and spiritual, and also the aromatherapy adding to that as a tool to
Mm-hmm.
actually, and that actually works, scientifically works. It's not just that, oh, we're girls, we like the smell and we're all into all these nice things. No, this is actually very important and it's very helpful.
Mm-hmm. It was like you were talking about mint, and the reason why mint opens up your head, it also increases because it stimulates circulation, is because the menthol in it, the menthol in
Mm,
it is
mm,
what does that.
mm,
There's menthine in it also. Those are the things that stimulate the circulation, open up the head. It's also what cools you down, right? Because
mm,
it's so great for inflammation. And the students, in my school were very high level school. And yesterday I did a presentation for the Alliance of International Aromatherapists because I'm the co-rep in California.
mm.
And the national rep was there because she wanted to know about how I was using essential oils and flower essence together.
Oh, I love that. I attended your back flower
Yes.
essence class. It was wonderful. Yes.
And
Hmm.
so she was so thrilled with that. And she sent me a certificate for doing it. This morning, I received this special certificate. I was like, wow, okay, this is great. And she says,
Yes.
oh, we'd like you to be a monthly presenter. And I was like, oh, fantastic. What I did is I showed a case study from one of our students who was
Mm,
using essential oils, homeopathy, and flower essences together for a person who, she was 70 years old. She was angry and she was very moody.
mm,
And it really helped her. And she overcame all of this. She had had gallbladder surgery,
mm,
which the student mentioned, which is a form of anger, the gallbladder not functioning right, and
mhm,
really worked. And so she did this case study, beautiful, with all the references, all the scientific reasons why. And she had rosemary in it. She
okay.
had rose in it.
I
She
love
had
rose oil.
ylang. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? To
Ah,
open up her heart. She had finally decided that she was going to go see her children because she was really missing them, but yet she wasn't going, making the effort. She just was kind of frozen.
oh
So
yeah.
she opened herself up. She used ylang then also to relax her, and I believe there was orange in it too, orange essential oil. And she did it with a bergamot, and she did it with a smelling stick, just her inhaling it.
Mm,
And she carried two, one in her purse and one because she still worked in an office. It was quite busy office. And she recovered from it. And they're like, oh, she has to put this case study in our journal now,
Yes.
And how many more students do you have that have case studies like this? And I'm like, well, we've got depression, we've got anger, we've got anxiety, we've got PTSD, we've got panic attacks. Okay, I'll have them send it. So
Wow, panic attacks is really, I mean, I've dealt with few people and some of my clients. That's like a tough one that,
yes.
you know, so that's awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know that
and it's,
rose oil has a
go
very
ahead.
high frequency. Rose and Ido Blue Bruce has one of the highest frequencies.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. Like if you go on the charts, right? So imagine someone having that itself has this high frequency. It's just automatically going to open you up because of that. And imagine all the other good stuff with it.
Yes, open you up and really help warm your heart, you know, where we're not afraid to be vulnerable.
Mm.
That's the thing is, you know, sometimes we block ourselves, don't we? Because maybe we've had a broken heart or we have grief still from someone who's passed away,
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
and it really helps open us up the rose. It's that beautiful heart chakra there, right?
Oh, tell me about it. And very important because our electromagnetic fields of the heart it's the strongest. So if
Hmm.
you relate that with the oil of a higher frequency and you combine both with a mindset, you have really gotten a powerful process that you apply to assist in transitioning from tension to more of a surrender state, to more of a relaxed
Hmm.
state. So now you're calmer, you're more grounded, and your mind is clearer. I mean, this is
Hmm.
awesome. Wow. I like
Yep.
case
Yeah,
studies.
I do too. And go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, because I was going to tell people because you have your book out in its second edition, Common Sense with the T on it, not Common Sense for yeah. So Common Sense, a practical guide to aromatherapy, and people can actually learn more about
That is cool. And I like the title.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so people can learn a lot more because I know that you had already given a lot and you're going to give a little bit more as well before the end because I think we have another 8 minutes to go. And
Okay.
yeah, so I just want to just make sure that your book got out there. So if people want to learn more about aromatherapy, they can actually go to
And we'll
I'm
someone.
trying to.
have the link in the comments too. So for those who can get it
Okay, great.
and if you guys love it and get it, just, you know, reviews and all that good stuff always help because it's good karma also when you benefit from something and the
Yep.
person put their heart and soul into something. When you write a review, it makes their journey more charged with your blessings back to the
Mhm.
blessings they gave you. And something beautiful happens in our world. And that's the sense of togetherness and connectedness and all the beautiful, you know, hormones going in your body. It creates that love covenant between all of us in a beautiful way. So you'll have
Absolutely.
that in the comments too, the link.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just want to let everybody know that in my book, you have the first thing that you read about is the mind system.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, how to use essential oils on the mind system. And the mind
Mm-hmm.
system, you know, consists of our emotions because our emotions are out here, right, in our energy field too. And it's been proven by Valerie Hunt, uh, who was a scientist in UCLA, about the energy field and the signature field that we all have. So essential oils are working out here on that. And as we know, we have to process things, and they help us process things, help us transition and make changes. And it makes it easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's out here too. It's not, you're
Mhm.
not just thinking about it going into your physical body, but you're also thinking about how it's working on the energy field too. That's what's so
Yes.
great about them, you know, working on all levels of us as human beings.
You know, when I did a lot of my coaching with NLP during this session, I would use like different oils. Like when they start, I'll let them cup other than what I diffuse, because in certain areas where I'm doing like a timeline therapy, I would use something based on what I know about it. And one of them, going through releases. I tell you, one time I had a client that I need to make sure that I'm like, are you back? Because he's sitting on a chair, like gone, eyes closed, and he actually literally was either sleeping or just way gone. Like I had to like make sound to make him come back because it was a long, long time. But he had gone into like a trance state of connecting to memories, and he had clarity to understanding what happened, and finally was able to release what he
That's
was
beautiful.
holding. And so I really, I'm telling you, I've even with coaching, that doesn't mean like, okay, your personal thing, I do it for myself, but even those who are out there doing such things, you can add that into your regimen with your clients. It's really powerful. I don't care if you're selling clothes or coaching people or anything. It can always be a great plus to something, because it will enhance the good feel and it will relax or calm depending what you need it to work for.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's like in the workshops that we're doing, it's we have beautiful results with people. You know, we had a young man who was in his late 20s. He came and he's an herbalist and he wanted to become an aromatherapist. So he thought, oh, I'll take Lori's introduction to emotional healing. It'll help me with my clients. But, you know, I don't know that I really need it. That's what he said, you know. And so he came, and like he said, I didn't know it, but he'd been divorced for 3 years. And he said, I thought just doing my archery, doing my work, and drinking, you know, quite a bit of beer, that I was doing good. And he said, until we sat down in the class, they started doing their breathing exercises. They had to give their partner, they had partners, they had to give them a hand massage with essential oils. They had to spray the essential oils around. And then they had to start doing storytelling. And his story came up about his divorce. And he said, I didn't realize I was carrying so much grief. He said, I was carrying 100 pounds of weight. I felt so guilty of what had happened. And he literally left the room and threw up. Because, you know, sometimes when we release, we throw up, right? So he did. He came back, he finished the class, and he said, he said, I went back and I slept in my room because we were in a hotel. And he said, I slept, you know, just continuously for like 3 days. He said, I woke up 100 pounds off my shoulders. He flew back to California because he's originally from California. We were in Indiana. And he said, I no longer was carrying any of the stuff. I was able then to date, because he hadn't been dating. And
he was holding it.
He was holding all of it.
And then he threw it up. He made space.
He threw it up. Exactly. Let it go, right? And he found somebody in about 6 weeks, started dating a girl. This was in 2018. They got engaged in 2019 and they got married last April. And he says, Lorrie, I still use all of the tools with the essential oils every day, because he said, I'll say to my wife, I'll say, you know, we're starting to bicker between each other. So he said, why don't we give each other a hand massage and talk about it?
Nice.
So, I mean,
see what you started? See, you know, people don't realize, and this is why I love classes and connecting with people. And always, I don't care how high I get in helping the world, I'm always looking for mentors that are better and doing things different than I'm doing, because it really sharpens what you know even better and opens your perception and consciousness. Because now you did this in a class, you know, trying to help the students, but you'll be so surprised. Well, not so surprised in your case, but you'll see how the influence, and these many people now take it back home and now applying it. Now that's success. That's a successful leader, because now those people are able to lead their lives and others from your teachings, and that's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I was so happy.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and transition here because we're getting close.
I
Yeah.
know her stories. We just love. We can have a
Yeah.
storytelling here.
We're gonna have to invite her back here to get more of the
I
story.
know. Part 2.
Part 2.
Listen, and part 2. Can we do it next week?
So, Lorrie, I want to ask you if
Yes.
you have like 3 tips, ideas, or anything else that you can give to the audience that they can take.
Recommendations, yes,
Yeah.
especially now with the pandemic and your oil experience and history and what you would think would help them.
I think if I was having any kind of like coughing or anything like that, I think I would use lemon because lemon breaks up mucus. I would also use, if I didn't have asthma, I would use eucalyptus globius,
I love
Uh,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would do like, 10 drops of lemon and 5 drops of eucalyptus and 1 ounce of carrier oil and massage it on my chest, my back. And then I always like to do, because I like hand massages, the reflex point. So you could work in this area here where you have the lung reflexes on your hands here in the pad. So you could put that there too. And then on your feet is always really nice, huh? Who doesn't like a nice foot massage? So you could have your partner or give yourself a foot massage or hand massage that way. And
No
then if you're
excuses. You can do it yourself too, people.
exactly, because now online with our classes, people have to do it themselves. There's
There
no
you
other
go.
partner anymore, so we're all doing the hand massage.
Yes.
And then I would use geranium. I like geranium for balancing out emotions. So if you're really upset, maybe someone in your family has COVID. My marketing manager has had COVID for 9 weeks. She
Wow.
and it's been a challenge, because
Mm.
what had happened is she had a previous condition
Mhm.
in her bronchioles, and so it attacked her more easily than it would like us 3, right? Because she'd worked here in France in the bakery, and the flour, of course, went into her bronchioles after years of working there. And
Oh.
so then when she got the COVID, it went right to the bronchial area. So she's been using lemon. She's been using geranium. There has been some studies done. I think is it in Taiwan with geranium and lemon for COVID. And what I can do is I can send it and put it in our group for you guys. Put
Oh, nice.
the scientific study done on it, so that way people can look at that and see if that can help them. Then I think if people, I would also, I like to always just sniff them and just do deep breathing. I think that is one of the best things that we all can do. Breathing's free, right? And
Yes.
most people only breathe to hear. And if they can do some deep breathing, just 1 minute of mindful breathing when they get up in the morning, take a short sniff of their favorite essential oil to make them feel good, be grateful. And I think that is one of the best tips I could offer.
Oh, wow. Yes, I love it. I also remember you talked about geranium and orange for boosting energy. And that's really, being a creative always, I'm like, orange does give you that extra boost, especially in the morning. It's like citrusy and it's so uplifting. And I really like that combo you suggested, because I used it that way.
Yeah, I love orange too. I'm from California. You're from Florida. I love
It must
the
be on a
citruses.
subconscious level. We connect to that energy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do as well because I do have an orange tree. So
Well, of course.
He
Of
went
course.
all the way to the tree itself.
I have a little house in California, and so I have blood oranges there also. And I just love going in my backyard and hanging out with the orange trees and my lime tree and my lemon tree, It's so relaxing. No, it truly
They're good
is,
friends.
They are. Plants are our friends, huh? They
Yes.
truly are. They help us in so many ways.
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Lorrie.
Oh my God, yes.
And finally getting to meet you after Sophie's been talking so much about you for
Aw, she's so sweet.
We love you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. This has been a real privilege to be here, and I thank everyone in the Wisdom Cafe. You guys, everybody does a beautiful job. I love all the things everyone's posting, all the positive things. It's a great group to be in.
Thank you. And tell them about your group. I know you have a group too for those who are listening, who are interested in more about getting into the energy of oils and essential oils and aromatherapy. Well, you have it from the master herself right here. And it's not easy to have gotten her because, listen, she's in France, she's in California, she travels, she teaches her. She's been doing even more in COVID than other times. So it was really a blessing to be able to have her on our show. And she's right here. You can connect with her directly and see all the other areas that you can connect with her teachings at. So tell them the name of your group, or I don't know how that works, Lorrie.
Oh, okay. Well, what I have is we have an emotional healing, essential oils with emotional healing group, Facebook group, that they can connect with us on with that if they like, if they want to connect that way. Also, if they're interested in certification, aromatherapy certification, our school is approved by the National Holistic Aromatherapy Association in 3 different levels. Level 1, which is where you're learning about 20 essential oils and you're learning how to really use them safely and effectively. And then you grow in the program into level 2, where you learn more and more and more. And then, of course, into level 3. And that you can connect with us through my site, lorriehargis.com. So you can find out more information about that. And then also you can always purchase my books if you just want to get started with essential oils and learn more about them, in the beginning, because you've got formulations, you've got the single oils. There's over 170 formulations in the book, and there's A to Z elements, and there's also reflexology charts to show you where to put your essential oils.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So people that are watching, I already have in the description a link to her website, so you can go there right now and just check her out. I believe I believe your book is also on.
But don't be too close because she might be wearing jasmine, and we can't have her get in trouble now.
Yeah, I already have
She's
a husband.
only allowed to wear jasmine with her husband.
They can purchase my book on my site too.
Oh,
So,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah, they can just go directly there. And there's books, and there's 2 booklets also. There's Essential Oil Detox, and then there's one that's just a very basic booklet that's called Using Common Sense. So that just goes through, and it's very simple. And it's something that, like, even if you're teaching, you can use it to teach people with. It's a very simple booklet.
So beautiful.
Perfect. So if you don't mind, once we get off, just in the comments, put a link to your Facebook group. And then if you have a link to your, if you have your book on Amazon, you can put it there, or they can
the
go
website.
On the website. Yeah. Okay, so, great.
Again, I want to thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for watching this amazing show. And I hope you guys got a lot out of it, especially in the area of aromatherapy. It's been an absolute pleasure of knowledge in this area.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so honored to be on the Wisdom Cafe Live with Sofie and Bob. Woohoo! You guys rock. Big hugs and lots of love.
Oh, blessings. Blessings to all. Definitely.
Bye, everybody.
And thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye, you guys.